Yo! Alright, so another video, another topic in hand. Summer's coming up. New Year videos are popular, or like maybe would gain some traction like a couple months ago, and probably still now, but New Year videos have something about them where they're only really relevant right before New Year's. Right afterwards doesn't really work too well. However, summer videos work pretty much throughout the whole year, and especially after New Year's, especially nearing the spring, and just pretty much all year round. People really just care mostly about the summer, because in the summer is when they go to the pool and the beach with their family and friends, show off their body, right? So you want to be lean, you're a lean, mean machine, all right? That's what you want to be like. That's what other people want to be. Some people want to be like. That's what you should want to be like, to be honest, to be fair. Now, I will admit, I also do want to be a lean, mean machine for this summer. This isn't because, it isn't to, just have a lean body for the summer. I wouldn't say that's my motivation. My motivation mostly is just to experience or see how my body would be when it's more lean. I started bulking when I was about... I talked a little bit about how I learned about the gym in my first ever video, but talking more so about it, I was about 14 years old when we were in when me and my family were still in Virginia, and ever since then I started getting into the gym content a little bit, and then started doing a little bit of home workouts. Bought myself some 10-pound dumbbells. They were heavy as hell at the time. I couldn't even lateral raise them for one rep or anything, even with both hands. So I was weak. I was super skinny, super short. My growth spurt hit really late, so I was just a skinny little twig until I was 16. So 14, I was 5'2", I think, and maybe 100 pounds, maybe 105 pounds, right? And then I slowly gained over the years until I was about 16. When I was about 16, I stumbled into the gym a little bit. I had a slight growth spurt, so I was now 128-ish pounds, and I was about 5'9-ish, 5'10". So pretty damn big of a height increase, but my weight was still only 15-20 pounds heavier, so it was not ideal. And then I was still skinny, but I had just grown so quick that I was just skinny and tall. But my physique, taller than before, but my physique was kind of all over the place. It was, kind of just fucking shit. So, and my whole life I've been very skinny, and you could say I've had abs my whole life. I'm more of a higher metabolism type of person. So bulking was definitely a struggle for me. I've only been able to gain muscle 2 times in my life, apart from the streak I'm on right now. And those 2 times are where I really locked in on my bulk, and I had to smash down a ton of food. I had to track my calories and all that. A lot of time though, if I wanted to just dirty bulk, because that was what was in that was what was popular at the time. If I wanted to dirty bulk, I definitely could, and definitely did, and definitely gained weight that way. But obviously it was a lot of fat and not a lot of muscle. Now, gosh, I gotta get a mic. But now, obviously we're talking about bulking and all that, right? Talking more about my journey, I guess. So let me finish that before I get to the cutting. But yeah, I got to about 130, and then I started really hitting the gym. And then I started really hitting the gym, and naturally I just grew around my height where I am now, around 5'10" to 6 foot, somewhere around there. 5'11", all right. I think. I don't really know exactly, but 6 foot with shoes on, so I guess I'll take it. Anyways, when I started to gain a little bit of weight, I naturally gained some weight. It started hitting the gym until I got to about 150 pounds. Now, at 150, I was stuck here probably, I'd say, for the longer period of my gym career, up until recently, up until this past year, because 130 to 150 was just naturally just my newbie gains, when you just not even workout gains, but just fucking do something except for sitting around gains. After I moved, I was a lot less active, just because new area, no school, there was just not much to do. Anyways, once I got to 150, I had a large plateau where my body was recomping in terms of gaining muscle and losing fat, just because I was so new. But it was such a long and slow process, and a lot of the time I don't think I was gaining much muscle. If anything, I was just putting on a slight amount of fat. So what I did was I changed up my routine to where I could bulk up a lot, where it was a Sam Sulek diet pretty much. Chalk and milk was the main thing. Protein shakes down the gullet, cooking myself chicken, eggs, just going ham, eating all the pizza and junk food that I could, right? That got me up to like 170, 160-ish. So that was really nice. A lot of muscle, and I didn't actually gain pretty much any fat during that, which was fucking awesome. And then I slowly went back down to 165, which was probably my best physique, one of my best physiques of all time, where I didn't have that much muscle, but because I was so lean with a higher amount of muscle, I looked pretty damn good. Like the definition of my abs and everything, when you're a little leaner, you look like you have more mass, even though you are way less. So after that, I plateaued there for about a year or so. So I would say, apart from the natural 130 to 150, the 150 to 170-ish was my first time I ever gained actual muscle, like a large amount of muscle, just like in a period of time. The second time was when I went from 170-ish all the way to 187. This was just my dirtiest bulk of all time, just pure fucking, like, eating like shit. And another thing I added was doing heavier weights and lower reps. Same thing that I did to go from 150 to 170 before, I did to go from 170 to almost 190, which was just too much. I was extremely fat, almost no abs. Like you can see, when I say extremely fat, I mean like this. I'll put a picture up of myself probably during that time. Hopefully I can find one. But I wasn't fat, or I was probably close to 18% body fat max. You could still see some semblance of some abs, but I just like to call myself super fat because I'm just used to that when I'm like not super lean, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, the point is, I went to 187, then I cut back down just naturally. It wasn't really a real cut, but just like naturally ate what I wanted to and cut back down to about 170-ish. And then when I got to 170, I realized oh, okay, I've been bulking this whole time, right? From 120 or 100, if anything. I've been bulking to all the way up here. Let me just, begin my cut, right? So after a month or two of gaining weight over the New Year's, and now I'm back up at around 180-ish, you could say, I'm going to start my cut. And this is the official start of the official cut ever in my lifetime, like an official cut. So it'll be pretty damn interesting. Like I said, this is for myself, mostly just to see the limits of my body and how my body will look. If I wanted to cut down the previous years for the summer or whatever, I would have, but I was bulking the whole time, and now it's finally time to cut down, see what I built under here. I don't have that much fat, so it probably won't take me too long. I don't want to get too shredded either, because I want my hormone levels and everything to be pretty decent. But I will be cutting down nearing the summer, so we'll see how that goes. I'll be posting updates on here and everything, but this video was not meant to be an update video. This video was meant to be a best ways to cut video. So hopefully I can shorten this portion up, my backstory portion up a good bit, so that the actual main chunk of the video is the informational part. But I might just keep it in because it might be a little interesting for some people to relate to. All right, so this might be a little longer of a video, and it might take me a fucking year to edit, but whatever. Best ways to cut in terms of methods that I'm actually personally gonna also try to adhere to. And so this video is kind of like a message to myself as well, just to give myself almost like a checklist of what I can do and what I can't do, I guess. So I'm just clearing out my thoughts here as I speak, but pretty much the most important thing I would say is to actually want it. The most important thing is to actually want to cut down, actually want to eat less, and actually want to eat less calories, actually want to eat a different diet and palate of food for an extended period of time. Now, obviously, this isn't like for a fucking year. This is probably going to be for 2 months max. Still, though, that's a decent chunk of time where you're going to have to stay pretty constantly, like, you know, updated on your diet and how everything's going, right? Your strength and everything. So we shall see about that. But the main thing is just you got to actually want it, right? There's always going to be that monkey in your head telling you to do other stuff and not to, you know, stick to it. There have been a couple times where I wanted to stick to the official cut, but then like a couple of days later, I just fucking cheat on that shit. So, yeah, you got to actually want it in your head. That's so much more important than everything else. After that, eat probably either two ways, okay? First way, you eat the exact same food every single day, but make sure that it's lower calories, right? So chicken and broccoli, and then a burrito, low calorie burrito. That's your whole fucking meal for the entire, like those, and then maybe some oatmeal in the beginning of the day, and that's your whole diet for the rest of the 2 months or whatever, how long you're cutting. That's one way. It's pretty torturous unless you really like the food, or unless you're just not like a food person. I'm fairly a food like I like food, so I wouldn't really recommend that for myself. And then there's the second option where you also eat the exact same foods, but instead of just like the same foods every single day, you have like an array of 10 or 20 different foods that over time you've learned the macros of, and you know you can just insert that into your diet whenever you want, and you know you're still under your calorie limit. That's what I'm gonna do, because over the time of just like researching and having the info of all these different foods, I kind of know like portion sizes, and I kind of know what calories everything is. If you don't, though, you can slowly develop that skill by like checking calories and everything, and just logging it into your brain mentally, and also like through apps and stuff. So there's that. So diet obviously is very important. You got to do your cardio, even if it's just to bring yourself into that slightly more disciplined, like, okay, this is a cut, this is something that I'm committing to mindset. 30 minutes of cardio a day, or maybe 180 minutes a week would be sufficient. Obviously, you don't want to cheat too much. You don't want to like fuck yourself over by doing any recreational stuff that might hinder your performance later on. So overall, you really just gotta want it. There's a big difference when it comes to if you commit to your cut or not. It's like you got to really look at yourself and like look at what your trajectory for your plans are moving forward, and say like, okay, is it logical for me to really like sacrifice this much time to get to this point? And most likely in this context, like it 100% is worth 2 months to be absolutely shredded and fucking a lean mean machine. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I'm gonna obviously in the future do more like cut stuff more. Now that I'm cutting and stuff, I'm gonna be a little more, motherfucker almost crashed into me. I'm gonna be more like in tune with the cutting, and I'm gonna be a little more detailed about that type of stuff. But yeah, see you guys. Peace.